The Las Vegas Raiders had their preseason finale yesterday in Arizona against the Arizona Cardinals. Head coach Pete Carroll told us the other day everyone is live, and sure enough, the starters did play. The Cardinals didn't play their starters, and of course they still won the game 20-10, but that isn't important. One important thing is the starters got some work. The Raiders have a good amount of new players in important positions and are all learning a new offense, and they have to learn how to execute that offense together. Another important thing is they got a final look at some guys they have to make decisions on. And I have to say this. The Raiders made it out of the preseason without any injuries to their starters. They and we were able to learn a few things about them too. First off, receiver Dante Thornton is really someone to watch for. The 4th round pick worked with the ones all through the offseason and training camp, and yesterday he showed us why. He showed great hands and body control on the back shoulder fade he caught for a touchdown. You can see the Raiders have been making a concerted effort to establish a connection between Thornton and quarterback Geno Smith. Smith just got done playing with DK Metcalf, whom Thornton has a lot in common with, and they succeeded, so you can see why. Smith and Thornton just missed on a deep ball earlier in the preseason, but they got it right in the red zone yesterday. They connected a few times on some short stuff this preseason, but the deep ball and red zone are going to be Thornton's main calling cards. That makes me wonder what Jacoby Myers' role is going to be. In practice, I've seen the effort to get Thornton and tight end Michael Mayer more involved in the offense, and you know the Raiders are going to get the ball to tight end Brock Bowers. Someone's production is going to suffer because you can clearly see that the Raiders are trying their best to make Thornton a major part of their offense. He's 6'5" and runs a 4.3 40, so why wouldn't they? I didn't think I had to do this one, but I'm going to do it anyway, just in case. Y'all should already know what it is with number 6 overall pick Ashton Jeanty. The boy can run with the football. I've talked about his vision, burst, elusiveness, and long speed, as well as his power and contact balance a lot. The power and the contact balance were the things some had questions about, because that's the one thing you don't automatically bring up from college. Well, that's 2 games in a row he bucked the defensive back to the turf. Never mind all the statistics from the game in the preseason. The Raiders have a physical running back that, among all the other things, thrives on and after contact. That means he's going to absolutely wear opposing defenses down. First, the given defender has to tackle him, which isn't easy work at all. Then there's the fact that being hard to bring down will have him up longer on his carries. The longer he stays up, the longer the defense has to run to the ball. The longer the defense runs to the ball, the more tired they are in the 4th quarter. That's how you wear defense down, and that's what we can look forward to seeing Jeanty do. One of the main things we learned is the Raiders need a backup quarterback. They really need one with Aiden O'Connell going down with a fractured wrist, but they needed one before the injury, because O'Connell hasn't looked good at all. As a matter of fact, he's looked awful. O'Connell isn't working out with Chip Kelly. It's no one's fault. He just doesn't fit what Kelly, Carroll, and the Raider offense wants to do. They want to throw deep, and O'Connell doesn't throw a great deep ball. If he did, Trey Tucker would have had a much better season than he had last year. O'Connell missed them a lot more often than not on deep balls last year. Another thing about throwing the deep ball is the quarterback's going to be under a lot more pressure because you have to wait for the deep ball to break open, and O'Connell's horrible under pressure. That was on display yesterday on his sack fumble. Not that he's a good option, but O'Connell will be on injured reserve for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and Cam Miller isn't ready to play, so the Raiders got to get going on finding a backup as soon as possible. Whoever it is needs to learn the offense quick because they'll be one play away from having to go in there for Smith. Now this is a big one because I was starting to wonder. Edge rusher Malcolm Kuntz looked good the times I saw him in practice. He appeared to have his burst off the edge back from his torn ACL last year. However, when the Raiders played in their preseason games, you didn't even know he was there. Hence, I wondered if he was at full strength. That is, until yesterday. It was nice to see Kuntz get a sack and all that, but that wasn't the most important thing in play here. It was the burst he showed off that edge that made it easy to swipe his man's hands and continue on to the quarterback. He obviously didn't forget how to play or use all his pass rush moves over the year of football he missed. It was all about how healthy he is and are any of his talents compromised. As you can see from the sack and as well as other plays he chased the quarterback around, they aren't. He looks like the same guy that racked up 8 sacks over the second half of the 2023 season. Therefore, we can look forward to Crosby having the help he needs rushing the passer. I don't know about you, but I believe Kuntz is going to have a pretty good year. He'll have some help coming from the interior too. Of course, Adam Butler is Adam Butler, and Jonah Laulu and Thomas Booker look promising. However, 2023 first-round pick Tyree Wilson has come out of nowhere the last few weeks and looked like a major help on the interior. He doesn't look too bad on the edge either, but he's really standing out as a third down rusher from the interior. He looks like a different dude out there. Listen, he's never going to get off the ball like Von Miller, but it's amazing how much better he is at getting off the ball. He's playing faster, period, and I think much of that comes from being healthy, and the other part comes from knowing what he wants to do. He didn't have a plan in his pass rushing in his first 2 years in the NFL. Wilson is finally using those long arms to his advantage. Once he gets those arms out, it's easy work walking the offensive lineman back to the quarterback. Those long arms also help disengage and throw those opposing offensive linemen off to the side to make tackles in the run game. He's getting better every week too, so he just might do something this year. Okay, we've already known for a while now that the linebackers and safeties are going to be good this year. Corner could be a problem though. Hopefully the Raiders' pass rush keeps it from being a problem. I said a few weeks back that if Eric Stokes is healthy, he's going to be good, and I stand on that. He was really good before he started getting hurt, and Carroll's scheme will have him doing the same things he was doing when he was at his best. Darian Porter might be the problem though. Yeah, he got beat for a touchdown yesterday, but I'm not saying he's going to be the problem based on that. The fact of the matter is he's a rookie, and corner is a very hard position to play as a rookie. Therefore, we should expect to see him struggle at times this year. I expect him to make some plays on the ball and come up with some interceptions, but the reality is he's going to get some bombs dropped on him too. Again, I'm really hoping the Raiders can get their pass rush going because they can take a ton of pressure off the corners if they do. I don't want you to think I don't believe in Porter as a player, because I do. It's just that he's a rookie, and you know what happens to rookies. They get abused a little bit. Well, on a side note, my dream for Theron Munford is over. He's been getting beat like a drum lately, so I doubt he even makes the team this year. I think O'Connell's going to get waived when he comes back from IR too. But let me tell you, Thornton and Jeanty look like they're ready for prime time. They're going to help Bowers make Smith's jobs easy. I can't wait to see Kuntz and Wilson help Crosby rush the passer too. What I'm really worried about is the corner position, because we have a rookie at one of them. I see him getting his interceptions and making plays on the ball, but I also see him making mistakes. Thank you for watching. See you next time.